Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitpack modded Minecraft 1.10 server, and I have been investigating streamlining my inventory a little bit. I find that I am always cluttered with blocks in my hotbar and my inventory, and I want to make things a little bit smoother, and to do so we have to kind of change up the things that we are using in our inventory, right? So I've invested in this thing right here, which is called a paxel. You can actually make quite a few different types of these with different materials. Osmium is the one that I've gone for because I saw other people using it, and if I remember correctly it has some sort of advantage over doing diamond. So diamond over here, 8 attack damage, 1.6 speed, and then the osmium one, which we're looking at, 10 attack damage. That was probably the reason why. Slightly more attack damage, less HP, but you can enchant this thing, so I put mending on it, which means we can repair it with XP. So this thing is extremely cool, and it's replaced the need for our pickaxe unless we need to use fortune on it, and it can instant mine some blocks as well, so in some cases we don't even need the hammer. Now to replace the bow and arrow that I used to have, we now just have one item, so that's one less in our inventory. In fact, I swapped those around. Let's put it back right there. This is the shuriken. I've had loads of people telling me about this, and I've been watching Etho's videos. I see what he gets up to. He put this together. It's really quite clever because the shuriken has ammo, so you can only fire it 81 times, right? But if you put unbreaking on it, then it pretty much lasts forever. Now, there are always magma cubes around my base. Now that I actually want to find some, we're probably not going to find any, are we? No, none in sight. How typical. Aha, there one is. Excellent. So let's try the shuriken out on this guy. We just need to right click. Look at that. There's a little recharge timer on it. It's not terribly slow. Let's spam this thing. Oh my goodness me, that is excellent. That is extremely good at getting rid of the magma cubes, and we've leveled up already. And this thing will never run out of ammo because we put unbreaking level 5 on it. So that's terrific. That's replaced the bow and arrow. This is doing a far better job than that ever could, and we can still upgrade it. Oh, look at loads of these little things. I've heard that the way to kill these, and I don't know what you get from them, is using magic. So at some point we need to brew up some potions and try that. And look at that, you've got loads of these stuck in the ground now. Fair enough. Looks like I'm picking up some of them, but not all of them. Not sure how that works, but we can still upgrade this thing further. We can put a diamond on it. Now, I was talking to Etho about it. I actually took a trip over to his base just to see this thing and what he was up to, and he was showing me loads of the cool things that he's been doing over there. I really like the way Etho plays. Very, very organic style, and doing a lot of stuff where it's not about doing the most efficient thing, but it's doing it the fun way. And I really like that kind of play style. However, you need to have a lot of knowledge as to what's in the pack, and I'm still learning, so this is very much a series where we learn what's going on. So look at that, we've added diamond. Apparently this will also affect our attack damage. Look at that, 692. So yeah, it increases attack damage as well. Well, that's excellent. So if I keep using this, we can then put quartz on it, and quartz will also do some sharpness. Do we get a preview of that? I'm not sure if we do. Let's chuck it in here. No preview because we don't have the modifier yet. Let's go get the next modifier. Dude, this thing is awesome! Like, I think it bypasses that cooldown where a mob can only take a certain amount of damage in a certain amount of time, because you just spam these things at it and they get destroyed. They get absolutely wrecked. That was poorly worded, by the way. What I mean is you hit a mob and then you can't hit it again for like a second, maybe half a second. It seems to completely bypass that. Look at that. Attack damage 8.22. And considering that you can spam these, you may not want to upgrade it the whole way. There might be some other useful stuff to attach to it. I'm not sure that that would be, but we will take that for now. I believe we may be able to put even more quartz in. So I'm thinking what I'll do is take a trip to the Nether to do some mining, and I'm bound to get harassed by blazes and such, so I can kill them with this thing, which will help me level it up as we get the quartz we need for it. Okay, so that'll make it further still. There we go, an extra 8 is what was needed. So yeah, that's going to help us reduce the amount of clutter in our inventory big time. Another thing I was thinking is when I need a tool, what I tend to do is press E, click I, drag something, right, and then we can use the tool. So is this faster if I just right click, shift click, and then press E? I think that is. I really think it is. So rather than have this I button as where we hold all of our items, I'm starting to think that we should keep a bag of holding on our hotbar, and that way we can very easily bring the tools in and out onto our hotbar when we need to use them. So again, just thinking about how to streamline how we're playing here. So if we're going to use this bag of holding for our items, then what is the fate of our expanded inventory? Maybe things that we use less frequently, or maybe changes of armor I was thinking, because I do actually want to start making a new type of armor. There is this dark steel, which I haven't looked into too much, but I have used it before in the past where I played with Ender.io. And the way this one works, I believe, is that you gather items together and you can attach like the equivalent of enchantments onto this thing. So there you go, you can see armor 6, armor toughness 1, not as good as diamond, but once you start upgrading it, then you'll be able to make it a lot better. So you see there it says Anvil Upgrades. Let's actually, oh, you can add glider wings and an elytra, that's cool. So this looks pretty damn impressive. What we got to do is start our upgrades off with a vibrant crystal, and this will give us empowered level 1. And it doesn't quite make it clear what you get, but basically you get a 100k battery right there. So this thing now has RF, and I believe we may see it start to charge up immediately because of this thing. Excellent. So our new armor, when it takes damage, it will go into the RF, and that will get wirelessly repaired. So it's sort of like mending, except we don't even need XP. So, oh, what do I look like now? That is a little bit dark and demonic. I quite like it. Awesome stuff. Right, let's continue upgrading these, because after that what you can put in is a basic capacitor. Wrong piece of armor. This is the one that we want. So in goes the basic capacitor, and I believe that upgrades, yeah, look at the power, it's gone up by 50,000 RF. Then this one goes in and it goes up by another 100,000, yep. And then this one right here takes it even further up. We need some more XP. So my power system here hasn't even budged. Everything is in the positive. I've got loads of machines going over there as well, and this thing has just soaked up 1 million RF, which is extremely cool. But there's more upgrades you can put on here. One of the things that I don't have is a night vision potion. That will allow us to toggle night vision. This next one sounds really, really curious. It's a sound locator, and we can turn it on and off by pressing I. And I heard a zombie sort of groaning a moment ago. Maybe it's off by default. Usually there's some mobs hanging out down below. I want to see how this thing works. Ah, look at that. That's cool. Do we see that through blocks? We do. I like that a lot. That's extremely cool. I wonder if it does it for machines and stuff as well as mobs, because sometimes they make a hum or like a little bit of an ambient noise when they're being used. Not these ones apparently. This one certainly does. So that's cool. Anyway, there's still more that we can do. We can also add some of these photovoltaic cells which generate power. Not a lot though for what you have to craft for them. And with those, this thing will charge itself. And I believe the rest of the armor as well. So let's chuck those things in. Excellent. Excellent indeed. There's one more trick up our sleeve though. Yep, that's right. We just painted our helmet with some enlightened fuse quartz. To be fair, I didn't put much thought into what one to do. I saw Iskal do this a while ago, and I tried to do it with my other armor, and it didn't work at all. We're looking for a helmet. There it is. I don't know if that's going to work. Sort of look... Oh no, it worked! Oh, look at me! Oh, I look like a complete derp now, don't I? Awesome. That's very, very cool. Not the best choice for a block. I'll have to think about that one. Maybe you guys have some suggestions. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of other armor here to be powered up. I'm going to go through and do all of them right now, and I'll tell you the cool things about them when I'm done putting all the stuff on with the anvil. Oh, here we go! Oh, that looks a little bit silly. This is not the same as an elytra. I had a choice. It was the glider or the elytra, and this thing isn't quite as spectacular. You sort of descend very slowly. So with the Ender.io stuff, you do have to configure your controls in the menu to get it to work. So I've assigned this to G. Oh, it's disabled. Right, let's turn it active. There we go. And now I just sort of gently glide down. Definitely not as graceful as the elytra. I think I might swap that out for an elytra at some point when we get one. Oh, and if you've been wondering about this building, yeah, I've been sort of playing around with it a bit. This is far from finished, by the way, and I was messing around with what could be at the top, and this is just going to change as we go along. I was messing around with the Midori Law. I tell you what, I don't really like this glider that much. We'll turn that off for now. Since we don't take full damage, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, just messing around with bits and bobs. Not happy with that. If you see this place change, it's just because I'm messing about with it in between episodes. Hi, we got some intruders. It's time to wreck them with the shuriken. Take that. Oh, excellent. That is so much better. I love it. What kind of sound is that? Listen to the sound that it makes when I shoot one. I think it's when it actually lands. Because that's quieter, yeah. Sounds like someone's using a saw. Alright, I might regret this one as well. If we... Oh, the anvil's gone. Yeah, if we don't like this glider and can't replace it with an elytra, I'll just make another dark plate. Same thing goes for these dark boots, and also we can add swiftness potion to our dark leggings. That may possibly change the field of view and might move us around the base a little bit too fast for my liking. So it might not be a good idea to go with that. I've also put 3 pistons on this thing, which gives us jump level 3. So the flippers that you saw there, that just means we can move 10% faster in water, which kind of sucks. That's not the same as Depth Strider. So a tiny bit faster, but the jumping thing means we should automatically step up blocks like that. Convenient. We should be able to triple jump as well, and we should jump higher. That's not that impressive. When I was reading about it, it sounded pretty cool. Maybe these things are interfering with it. Let's put that in our inventory while we mess around here. Nope, that's the triple jump for you. I should be able to... Okay, I can't walk up a too high bit, but I can jump up a too high bit now. That's cool. So those are some nice little changes right here. You can also deactivate the step up if you don't like it. But we are getting upgraded here at the beginning of this episode. Anyway, we're now going to head into the Nether, and I'm going to wreck up some mobs and level up this thing while we gather some quartz to increase the sharpness. Aha! I've sussed out the triple jump accidentally. You hold down space and then you can get up. That's really cool. I do like that. I don't have flight on at the moment. Definitely need to bring that back. And it still works when you got wings. So that's really convenient. If I want to get from down there to up here, I don't even need to fly. Just hold down space and you're up to the next bit. Well, it turns out there's a little bit of a bug with this shuriken. You can see here that it's empty. It's out of ammo. Which is odd because it's got unbreakable on it. And that's a little bit of a bug in Tinkers, I guess. So what we can do is add some Mending Moss to this. What we need is some moss stone like that. Put it into a grid. And then what you got to do is take this Mending Moss stuff right here. Ball of moss even. And it actually tells you what to do right there. I had to look that up online. I think the way it works right now is you put it on your item and it slowly repairs itself. If you've got 10 levels of XP, click on a bookshelf. Right, I've got a feeling it's going to want a vanilla bookshelf. Let's chuck that one down. And then, bam, you get some Mending Moss. So this thing will now use XP to repair this. So let's chuck that in there. Let's go get some XP and see if it does the job. Well, it turns out that that doesn't work. You got to use a tool forge and some ingots to repair it. It's a waste of a modifier. This might not be our ultimate shuriken. We might have to make another one because we're wasting things here. But check this out. I'll eat some toast first and then we'll wreck these guys. Absolutely easy way to level up here because the pigmen just come from all around the place directly to you so you can kill them and level up your little shuriken. Little pro tip for you right there. Yeah, this is very easy but also very noisy as well. These pigmen, they do like to squeal. Right, it's time to move on from that for now. We are going to take another look at the dimensions because I mentioned it last episode. I've had some feedback and advice from you guys. Also, Biffa came over here and walked me through it, which was very, very helpful. There is a crucial step in this that I missed that the book didn't make quite so clear. That the empty dimension tab here is an item that you have to craft. You have to make one of these and you've got to put it inside your inscriber, and it's here that you can create a world. So you can click on store and create one of these, which is an actual dimension. Now this dimension, I'm not sure if we can visit it or not because it's just sitting here in my inventory, but you can see that it has power stored inside it and it costs 10 RF per tick. Now, a while ago, before I started recording, that power had drained down, and I don't know what charged it back up, but it doesn't appear to be this. I've gone out of range, and that number hasn't gone down, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. However, this one over here is running, and sometimes you see the current power tick up and down. This thing is constantly being fed some RF. Now, notice how it says Terrain 1 dimlet. This one doesn't. That's because it has this dimlet. No, sorry, that's the time dimlet. This one right here, Terrain Void inside of it, and I believe this actually reduces the running cost of them by a lot. Now this one is craftable, as you can see there, so I ended up crafting one of these. all of these right here are the dimlets that you've learned that add properties to the dimensions that you're making, and all of them are craftable. Now I believe there's more of them available that are not craftable that you can't see here. So these things that we've already got from our dimlet packages are not quite the same thing, and I'm still not sure how it is you turn them into these dimlet packages, but it's here where you would put one of those into there. Otherwise you just create a random world, which is what we're going to do right now. So you could drop the dimlets in there, otherwise you click store, and I believe once you've visited a world you can come back to here, put in your visited world and extract information about that world into dimlets and create dimlets with it. But we haven't visited this thing yet. It's also got the same idea as that one right there. That's interesting. Perhaps if we had have visited this one and then done that, it would have worked out differently. Now when it comes to going to these dimensions, we've got to use our dialing device. We've got to use this machine outside. And if we die in this dimension, there's an item that will help us get our items back. So I'm not worrying about this too much, but we have to keep the world running, which is important. So we are going to link this one to ID number 2. Now I've made a third world, or technically second, because ID 1 is missing. Let's dial that up. Dial OK. Excellent. We can now go through to our new dimension, which is pretty exciting actually. I've brought the means to make a contraption to get us back as well. That being said, I'm probably going to need some power conduits, right? Let's grab some of those. I actually missed a step there, but since it seems to have created the same dimension again, I think we're okay. I think because this one hasn't been explored, when we create a blank one it becomes the same one again, right? This is our third one with the void terrain dimlet, and by being in here I do believe this machine is actually powering it, but you also put one of these in to initialize it and power it up, which has already been done. So we'd probably be wise to leave that one in there now, right, so that it can get powered, and we just so happen to have a copy of that here where we can look at the power value while we're in the world, just in case it gets drained. So I've never done this before, not even in creative mode. I've done all the research here with Biffa in this world and reading your comments, and I've been wanting to do this since day one because I have a really cool plan. So we appear to be in a world made out of cobblestone with mushrooms everywhere. Geez, that's kind of weird. Now, one of the things we want to look for in this world is structures. Apparently, structures will hold dimlets and dimlet packages in. And there's something I wasn't expecting to see over here. I mean, yeah, we're looking for structures, but that looks like a proper house. And looks like it's time to use the shuriken. Oh, yep, I've got that thing turned on. Let's turn those off. Do you know what? I actually just want to go inside that building because... Baby skeleton! Because I'll be safe in there, won't I? Right, if we could get away. Quick, get inside! Woo! Some skills right there. They're going to crowd around and look in. Oh, jeez. We're in trouble now. I've actually seen these buildings before. The last time I played modded... Oh, empty. Empty item frames. I remember there being things in these item frames, and I think that they were probably... maybe that's... maybe powering that does something funky here. This is just empty, isn't it? Powering that does nothing. Is there anything underneath it? No. Okay, so that wasn't terribly interesting. I got a suspicion, though, that it might be bugged out. If we ever needed lots of leather and mushrooms and meat, we could come here. This is so bizarre. What a bizarre sight. Okay, more structures to investigate. Sheep on top of the cobblestone hills. Fascinating. Let's open it. Let's look at this thing. So, it's being powered, isn't it? Because we got it back at our base, and it's using 10 RF per tick, which is ever so little. Some of them cost a fair bit more, and because we can fly... Right, hello. Anything in here? No. I've got a feeling that this is bugged out. Oh my god, let me out of the room. There we go. I've got a feeling that it's bugged out and that we won't actually get anything in here. But this is such a strange sight. And look, this is blatantly where a swamp would be. In fact, what is the biome? Swampland, except everything's been replaced with cobblestone. It's the cobblestone dimension. I can see more structures all over the place. Let's pop inside here. Hi. There's a baddie. He's getting... Oh no, I'm eating some toast before I wreck him. Right, I reckon that's a bug, that things are empty. So let's explore a few more, but I've got a feeling it's going to be disappointing. Aha, the next one that we visit, bam, some dimlets on the wall. That's what we're coming here for. So now when we create our next dimension... Oh, no, we don't want to rotate it. It means that we can, like, add some properties to it, right? And it tells us how much RF per ticket's going to cost to do that. So if we wanted to make a world where ocelots would spawn, it would cost 500 RF per tick. Wow. And oak wood, so the dimension would be made out of oak wood, right? 100 RF per tick. and one where you can make it out of netherrack. Fascinating. Anything in here? Look at that. Okay, so something was clearly wrong with those other ones, but this one's okay. That's giving me an incentive to continue exploring. I should have brought more storage to store these things. Had I have known, had I have thought ahead, but with it being our first time going into this world, I've just sort of been in a hurry to get in here and check it out. So, yep, more on this one as well. Excellent. That one will be a terrain type. The void is the one that I'm most interested in, and we can actually craft that. So islands, tendrils, that sounds fascinating, and spider. So if you ever wanted to make a spider farm, you can make a dimension where only those spawn. Oh, there's another one, andesite. Not something we need a lot of. If you find diamonds, that's probably going to be epic. However, it would cost a lot of energy to run. Now I've noticed that these extra blocks on the outside here, I don't know what they are. Just in the back of my mind, I'm wondering if they're expensive. They sort of don't look, although they do use dimensional shards, and that is something that you can find in these worlds. Whereabouts, I'm not sure. I'm just going to pinch these for now. Do they also emit light? I do believe that they do. So there's some clear fault lines in this world, which is not something you'd expect to see. That reminds me of old Minecraft, where you'd update and you go exploring and find some crazy terrain lines. Another thought crossed my mind. It's cobblestone on the surface. What Y value are we at? It seems to be like a regular world. So if we dig down, are we going to find ores underground? Is there going to be anything of interest down there? Let's jump into this one. Oh, another empty one. I found a few in a row that weren't. Hey, this block on the outside is slightly different. Maybe that's how you tell if they've got something in or not. Because this one isn't the same. What is this? It's a pattern 2 block. Right. Also, look at the colour of that sky. Is that a dimensions thing? What is that? That's beautiful. I like that colour a lot. I hope we get to customise that. So nothing here has been different to cobblestone. And yes, there is bedrock in the world. That's the other thing that I wanted to find out. So no sign of ores, not even lava lake. Didn't hear lava popping down there. But I wasn't doing a proper exploration. Yeah, so that seems to be what these worlds are about. Just craziness like this. But I think what we need to do is actually make another one and find out how that one will generate. Hopefully it won't be cobblestone again. Maybe it'll be something a little bit more interesting. Alright, we are dialed up and ready to go home. And it's just sort of occurred to me that we're going to be leaving these blocks behind. So actually, we're going to take these with us. Now, after we're done with the dimension, we're going to delete it because we'll probably end up going through a lot of these, and it'll take up a lot of hard drive space if we don't clear them up after we're done. So in order to get back home, we need to leave these things left behind, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I guess that's just kind of the way it goes. Luckily, they're not expensive to make at this point in the game. And that's it, we've returned back. So now what we're going to do is go and make ourselves yet another dimension and check out what that one's like. So each time we make a new dimension here, what we will have is the same one again, ID number 2. So at this point we need to customize it, and I could have swore I read something about each time you create it, it will be different, but I don't know what exactly that's about. But this should, in theory, make a completely different one. So let's click store, and it is... where's the ID? I don't see an ID. Maybe we've got to put it in here first. And now it starts to charge it up. So it says name ID 2. This one's just blank. That's slightly worrying. This thing, though, has... It's got some different things. Oh, that's because the dimension isn't ready. Look, dimension progress. So it charges up, and now it tells us how much it can store. Excellent, and it needs 110 per tick. So we'd be wise to probably just leave it over here and let it charge up. Well, a new ID has appeared, ID number 4, so I think that's going to be it. Now this is definitely a more interesting world. We start on a snow platform over here, and then there are floating islands with snow everywhere. That's different, but this world is seriously laggy. There is some shenanigans going on over here. It looks like snowmen spawn everywhere, and then they start attacking mobs like the creeper. Wow, this is different. This is what I was looking for. Something a little bit spectacular and unusual. Now it just sort of looks like, okay, so the floating island isn't that big, and then there's more off in the distance, right? And this one's even smaller. Very strange indeed. I guess the idea is to fly around and try and find some structures and get more dimlets out of this thing. Well, that's a little bit funky. That's also where our first structure is. There's definitely something a bit odd about how that generates. And this one's got some dimlets in. That's very nice to see. Ooh, purple sky. That's awesome. I like that. Another sky dimlet. This one though, wither effect. We can make a world where you go to it and you'll be withered constantly. That's basically a world I'm never going to make, right? Wow. Did you hear that? The wolves are howling. Now they're a pack of howling wolves. Oh, now they're angry. What's going on? Leave me alone. I only came to visit. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. It's also a spider dimension. Hello. You lot are stupid. Follow me over here. Yep. Yep, you're pretty dumb. Oh, and we can level up our shuriken here nice and easy. Like the Nether, with those pigmen, there are just mobs everywhere because there's so little else of the world to... Look at how many spiders are here. You see what I mean? This is so cool. So this block right here is a biome essence block. You put it down in a biome and it will gather the essence of the biome. Takes about 5 minutes. And you can see we've got 100% absorbed of the desert. Fantastic. Now we need this to construct a particular type of dimlet. There's two here that we've got to distinguish. We have dimlet parts, which are these bits at the top, and then we have the dimlets that we've been collecting in the worlds that we've been exploring. These ones are used to make the worlds. The one below them over here are used to make these bits, and we get those bits from our dimlet parcels. Making any sense? It's a little bit confusing, I know, but if we look in the workbench, a lot of it becomes really clear now, because if we have a look at the desert one right here, we need 5 different parts of the dimlets, which I've collected all of and put down here, and we also need the essence as well, and this is the essence block right here. Now I'm very curious as to what else we can use this for, because there is a material absorber as well. If we put that next to a diamond block, which we kind of don't need, maybe an emerald block, and then we used it to absorb the emerald, we could effectively make a world made out of emerald blocks, which would be pretty crazy. But this is how I understand it works. So we put that there and it shows us it. Excellent. So now we can get the desert biome. So the next world we're going to go into will be made out of desert, unless I choose to actually try that emerald thing. There's a little bit of a problem here. You see this scroll bar? It's not actually looking at every single thing in the game, I believe. When we go down here to the mobs, you can see there's only a few available, and that's kind of it. And that's because, like, when you scroll, you jump through large amounts of information. Does that make sense? I think that's a good way of explaining it. And so you don't get to see everything. There's just 2 pages for mobs, and obviously there's a lot more than that in the game. So it feels like this kind of misses out on a lot of stuff. But one of the things that it did have was emeralds. Emerald block 50, dark emerald block. I don't think it's the same type of emerald block, to be fair, and I'm not sure if this will work with anything. Why don't we make a material absorber, put it next to an emerald block and see what it does, and maybe then we can construct a dimlet. If that does work, we will see a preview of it down here first to know that it will create the one that we're after. So let's give it a try. Wow, that disappeared instantly. So that means that this is doing something. Should we put another one near it, next to it, under it? Ooh, underneath it seems to go. Right. That's interesting. Does it mean that it's only going to get so much essence per block? Also, I don't know if there's a way to detect this right now. The particles on top mean it's still doing its thing. You can break it and pick it back up again, that's for sure. So when we look at it here, 2%. Right, what's the betting that it's going to stop with the particles after a while and it's not going to go all the way to 100%? So we would have needed around 100 emerald blocks, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So I decided to do it with iron, which we have loads of, and it wanted to absorb more iron in total. Around 120, 130 for 100% absorbed. And here's the thing, we've got to do a little bit of guesswork if it's even possible here. You can see the rarity there is 4, which means it needs 4 levels of power, and it needs a circuit board thing, that one with 3 little chips in it. And I don't have those things. If we go down to some of the lower ones, you can see the rarity is lower too. So it might require a little bit of guesswork as to how we actually get the iron one, if it's even possible. It might be that there's an even higher rarity as well. What happens if we go down here? No, rarity 2 again, so it's not ordered like that. Aha, and here are some vanilla blocks. Maybe there's actually iron in there. Oh, look at that! Some guesswork has saved the day! Nice! We're making a world. Oh, look at the cost. Look at the cost. 6,000 RF per tick. Do you know what? I'm going to make it. We can't afford that right now, But that is a sign of the power of this mod. A world made out of iron blocks. Yeah, that is good, isn't it? That is good. However, we kind of got the iron farm sorted out. Maybe I should have picked a different block. You see, an emerald one would be good because we don't have an emerald farm, but then I don't have enough of those blocks. Either way, we're learning a lot about this mod. I think what I'm going to do right now is make the desert world and explore that for a bit and see if we can get some more interesting dimlets from it. This was unexpected to say the least. And the last thing I want now is a load of social zombies spawning. It's very dark here. It's not a video compression thing. I can barely see in front of me. Now there is some glowstone down here. Let's update that by breaking the block next to it. It's also very laggy on my frames. That is really bizarre. What block is that? Cobblestone. So this world's made out of a different type of cobblestone. It is a desert biome, but it didn't turn it into an actual desert. It just made loads of cobble everywhere and lots of lag. And it's supremely dark. There is basically no sky and no light here at all, which is quite unfortunate, but it does sort of make exploring for dimlet buildings nice and easy because the world is very flat and these things sort of pop out at you, right? So it has its advantages. I think there's a way to deconstruct biomes and learn about them after. And when I say biome, what I actually meant was a dimension, because the sky in this one is really cool. I mean, it just makes the world completely dark. That's an igloo. No word of a joke, that's an igloo. I can barely believe that. Does this have a structure underneath it? No, imagine if I found another one and it did. So bizarre that that would spawn out here. We're still in a desert. These worlds are just bizarre. I found one, an igloo, with a trapdoor. There's nothing actually useful for us down here, is there? But it's nice to know that we're here, and we're descending down those ladders very fast. It kind of looks like the entire world is going to just make any lighting source kind of useless here, because everything else around it is dark. Splash potion of weakness. Oh, there's a biome crystal in there. Yeah, nothing terribly useful. Just curious to know that it's actually here. I've also developed a very quick way of doing this. We jump into the building, we break the chest, take the items out of the frames like this, and then off we go again. And then if ever we come back to the same one by accident, I can see how I've made my way into there. And now we're actually filling this thing up completely, and I've been sending items back through here as well. So we can chuck these things into our ender chest, and it goes into our sorting system. But it won't be long now before we run out of space for all of these dimlets. Look at the dimlets we now have. Crazy amounts of dimlets. Oh my goodness me. There's probably tons in total. We'll eventually fill this thing up. And yeah, I've attached an Ender IO conduit, a vacuum chest, and we've got a mechanical user over here. I'm wondering, can we get it to right click? Oh, it puts the items back into there, does it? Now will it do that again? Why has it not done that again yet? Is it because we need to select, oh, random slots, so we need to do upper left only. Now, where are those extra items going? I'm going to take that out of there for now. Oh, it appears to perhaps still be in this thing's extended inventory. I don't know. What if we just put that going straight to over here? Let's break this and that. I kind of assumed that what was going to happen is they would appear out in front. If we go to extract... it's going to take the dimlet parcels as well, isn't it? They're going to go back through. So no, that wouldn't... Well, it almost worked. I guess it helps me do this automatically a little bit. Maybe there's another way. Anyway, I've got to extract all of the dimlet parts from these parcels, and that is going to be it from me this one. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. As always, thank you for your support on the videos, and I will see you in the next episode. Ciao for now, bye-bye. Yes, my helmet has changed. I changed it to black stained glass. See ya, bye-bye.